Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone. This is the November 13th, 2025 meeting of the Lowell License Commission. Secretary Pius, has the meeting been posted?
It has.
Thank you very much. The first item?
Roll call. Commission Chair Donahue.
Here.
Commissioner Krieger.
Here.
Commissioner Mercier.
Here.
Commissioner Tang.
Here.
Commissioner Underwood.
Here.
5 present, none absent. 0th is the acceptance of the October 30th, 2025 minutes.
I believe Commissioner Krieger has an amendment.
Yes. Could you read it, John?
Just one moment. Commissioner Krieger had a request that this following sentence be added to the minutes. Commissioners expressed concern that adopting the general on-premises license, which would result in a bar-only establishment, might result in increased malfeasance and fighting.
Yeah, I move, as proposed amended, we adopt the minutes.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Krieger as amended, seconded by Commissioner Mercier. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
None? Thank you.
First is ratification of an application by Leah Valises for a special one-day license to sell, dispense all alcoholic beverages for Luminosity, an evening of art, exploration, and impact, which was held Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, from 6 to 9 p.m. at Western Ave Studios, 122 Western Ave. And I do not see Lee here. I'll put that to the end.
Thank you.
Next is an application for secondhand goods by Adam O'Donnell, doing business as A Damn Shame Records, operating in Hive Public Market, 101 Page Street, Suite 2.
Step right up. Good evening. Your name and address, please?
Good evening. My name is Adam O'Donnell, address 38 Butterfield Street, Lowell, Massachusetts.
Thank you. Thank you. Adam, tell us about your shop. I know it was on Mill Number 5, and you're kind of just moving to a new space.
Yep, that's correct. We, as of November 1st, are now open full-time at the Hive Public Market, downtown at 101 Page Street, Suite number 2. We are a record store, specifically specializing in vinyl records, CDs, cassettes, band shirts as well too, both new and used. And used is why I'm currently here to apply for the secondhand license.
Great. Okay, any questions from the commissioners?
Nope.
I'll make a motion.
Move approved by Commissioner Mercier, second by Commissioner Krieger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I hope the new location works out for everybody down there.
I appreciate that. I look forward to this one.
I have a correction to the next one. It's an application for secondhand goods license by Henry Garrity, doing business as Paz Garrity Antiques, operating in 1610 Middlesex Street.
Good evening. Would you identify yourself, name and address?
My name's Hank Garrity. I live at 11 Academy Drive, Lowell, Mass.
Good evening. You want to tell us something about your shop?
Yep, it's at 610 Middlesex Street in Lowell. A little bit about me. I think I had my first secondhand license in Lowell in 1978, a long time, probably till 2012. And now I'd like to get an open shop again. I haven't had one. I've been doing wholesaling and everything.
Okay. Okay. Any questions from any of the commissioners?
No, I'll move approval.
What kind of secondhand goods are you, sorry, what kind of secondhand goods? Used furniture?
Yeah, antiques, used furniture,
Okay.
estate goods, anything like that.
I move approval.
Move approval by Commissioner Mercy, second by Commissioner Krieger. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good luck.
All set, thank you.
Thank you.
Application by Marina Martinez, license manager of Asadas Donna Flor Incorporated, to change the hours on their all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license for 197 High Street.
Good evening. Would you give us your name and address?
Good evening. Yes, my name is Marina Martinez, and I own a small restaurant, Colombian Food, at 197 High Street in Lowell. And I redoing the license for. I usually don't open that late. I close at 9 p.m., so I just want it until 11, I think, John? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Modification to 11 p.m. is the request? Okay. Any questions from the commissioners? No questions?
I move for approval.
Move approval by Commissioner Tank, second by Commissioner Underwood. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? All set.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Next is an application by Werorat Tamfa, license manager of A&W Group LLC, doing business as WTF We Thai Foods, to change the hours on their all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license for 255 Chelmsford Street. And like,
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Your name and address?
Weeravat Tanfa, 255 Chamfer Street, Lowell.
And where you want to change the hours of your restaurant, your
Yes.
liquor license,
Yes, sir.
to 11 p.m.?
To 11 p.m.
It's n- it-
To 12 p.m.
To
I'm sorry.
12, okay. Midnight, all right. Any questions from any of the board? No questions?
I move for approval.
Move approval by Commissioner Underwood, second by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. You're all
Thank you,
set.
sir.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I noticed that leave releases has arrived, so I'm going to go back to number one, ratification of an application by leave releases for a special one-day license to sell, dispense all alcoholic beverages for Luminosity, an evening of art, exploration, and impact, which was held on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, from 6 to 9 p.m. at Western Ave Studios, 122 Western Ave.
Okay, your name and address for the record, please.
I'm Lee Velissis. I live at 115 Main Street, Andover.
Okay, and this is a ratification. You already had the event.
Yep. Yes.
How did it go?
Very well for the first event at Western Ave. Very well.
Okay. Any questions? Move approved by Commissioner Krieger, second by Commissioner Underwood. All those in favor of ratification? Aye.
Aye.
You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is an application by DCAS-B Incorporated, doing business as All Star Lounge, for a change of officers' ownership interest and stock interest for the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 160 Merrimack Street, Unit A.
Good evening, counsel. Identify yourself for the record, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and fellow commissioners. Attorney Michael Zane with the law office at 375 Gorham Street in Lowell, Massachusetts. I'm here with David Cruz, who is the manager of record and now the sole corporate officer of DCAS, Inc.
Okay. And what do you want to tell us?
This is simply, that they, initially, we were here, the initial application, David had a partner, Vasel Gallego. David has now bought her interest out and is now the sole owner of the corporation, still the same manager of record, but in terms of, we had to come before the License Commission to notify you of the change of ownership, change of the, the ownership, change of membership of the corporate officers.
Okay. Thank you very much.
The sale of the stock.
Mr. Pires, everything's in order?
Yes, it is.
In order?
We do have one exception to everything being in order, and that's the only item that we're waiting on is the certificate from the Department of Unemployment Assistance, DUA certificate, which we thought we would have today. ADP is telling us they're working on it, so we hope to have that. I did speak with Mr. Pires about this, and typically what we'd ask in this situation is that you approve it with the condition that we submit that, so that then Mr. Pires can then send it down to the ABCC for their approval.
Okay. With that condition,
I'll make a motion to accept it with that condition of getting the paperwork.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Mercy, a second by Commissioner Krieger. With that condition, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Good luck.
Next is the public hearing continued regarding revisions to Lowell License Commission regulations for on-premises alcoholic beverages licenses.
All right. Attorney Wood, maybe you could, thank you for the information you provided to all of us, but maybe you want to just give a synopsis of, and maybe do it one at a time, and we could perhaps discuss them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
So following the Commission's public hearing on October 30th, the Law Department went back and looked and saw what other potential proposals the Commission could adopt as regulations to address the issue of furnishing alcohol to minors. After that review, we've come back with 3 potential proposals for the Commission to consider. Let me begin with the first one that we've proposed, which is requiring licensees that operate past 10 p.m. to utilize tamper-proof wristbands or non-transferable ink stamps to identify patrons that are eligible to serve alcohol. So I want to be clear at the outset that what we are proposing would only apply to licensees that operate past 10 p.m. So if you close at 10 o'clock on the dot, this regulation would not impact anything that your business currently does. This would only apply from the hours past 10 o'clock at night. And the purpose of this regulation is really to make it easier for a licensee to identify patrons that are eligible to serve alcohol. So the way it would work is if a patron has, say, a green tamper-proof wristband or a stamp, that is a designation by, say a doorman or, a host that they are legally eligible to be served alcohol. And that would be an identifier that would allow them to assess quickly whether or not they're eligible to be served. So that's the first proposal. I'm not sure if the Commission wanted to take that one first or have me discuss the other 2.
No, I was wondering at this point if we should see if there are any bar, restaurant owners here that would like to address the issue. Would love to hear from owners if they wish to say anything. Thank you very much.
Tim Kelleher, representing the Smokehouse at 98 Middle Street. If the bar is already 21 plus only, I guess the question would be, why would I wristband 300 people coming in the door? Unless it was an 18 plus night, and then I don't have a problem with it. And also, for any place that does food at 10 o'clock at night, if they're not closed, they have to go around and wristband everybody?
Let me ask you a question that I thought of. What would be the expense, additional expense of your bar if you had to do wristbands or stamps?
$7.95 for 500 wristbands. It's time with the door guys, wristbanding everybody, and it's also these people today just take off wristbands. They would walk outside give someone else a wristband, they would put it on and walk back in the door, and if the door guy wasn't paying attention, he would think the person was already carded.
Okay. So it's not a major expense to put on wristbands.
It's, no, more of a huge inconvenience, and especially if like we're 21 plus Fridays and Saturday nights.
Okay. All right.
So I would literally ban everybody that walked in the door. It's,
Right.
if you do an 18 plus night, then I can see, doing both, but I just don't see the value of doing Friday and Saturday night when we're carding everyone that walks in anyways.
Right. Okay. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Coming up. Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this issue? No? Okay. How about number 2?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The second proposal that the Law Department has brought to the Commission is they're requiring that a licensee utilize ID scanners or a smartphone application that scans IDs. So this is really taking what Needham, Massachusetts currently has with their local board. The difference is what we're proposing is actually more lenient than what Needham has. Needham's regulation only allows a licensee to use purchased ID scanners. So they would have to go out of their way and purchase a separate ID scanner. What this proposal does is it allows either a separate ID scanner, or if a licensee has an iPhone app or a tablet, they can utilize that as an alternative.
All right. And again, this is a public hearing, and is there anyone wishing to address the ID scanner? And I just have a question for you, sir. Yes. What's an ID scanner cost?
It depends what kinds you get.
Well,
there's free ones out there.
We want a good one.
IntelliCheck, $69.95 a month.
Okay. All right. I'm just considering expenses for bars, and I know, it's not an easy business, and
No, it's harder and
any
harder every
added
day.
expenses will be something I consider.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only problem I see with the proposal is, honestly, 50% of my customers are known to us. So under the proposal, I would have to scan every customer that walks in, again, slowing down time at the door. And I guess the question is, if we don't scan them, are we in violation, even though we know who the customer is and the customer's over 21?
Okay. Good point. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else wish to address it? And Mr. Woods, number 3?
Yes, the third proposal was one that was discussed at the last hearing with some modifications, which is to add a general on-premises license. The difference was the previous proposal at the last hearing only restricted folks that are 18 and up. This modified proposal would include 2 additional restrictions. The first is it would require an establishment to utilize non-transferable wristbands or a stamp, and the second is it would require the utilization of an ID scanner. I've discussed this with Captain Peasley and the Lowell Police Department, and they have expressed their support for this proposal. And if Captain Peasley would like to discuss further, I'm happy to yield to him.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Thank you, Solicitor Wood. The police department does like option number 3 or proposal number 3. I think there's value.
It does what?
We do prefer item number 3, proposal number 3. And I think in taking into account Mr. Kelleher's concerns about the extra time at the door, number 1, I think, him having just a 21 and older crowd, that's his option, right? Because we know that the license that they currently have, you can be under the age of 21 and enter a bar. So that restriction is self-imposed, and the police department does appreciate it, to be honest with you. But I think that the minimal time it takes to put a wristband on or to just stamp someone's palm is worth that extra time to prevent, possible tragedy of having 17 or 18-year-olds drinking alcohol in a bar. The other benefit to the police department is it will easily identify those that have already been checked that should be drinking and those who shouldn't. So when our compliance checks, when our officers go in for compliance checks, if we notice someone right away holding a drink without a stamp or a wristband, that our attention should be drawn to those people right away. So it'll make our job a little bit easier than randomly going up and asking people for IDs.
Okay, Captain, that would be if we approve the all-alcoholic beverage as
that's correct.
a business separate from what we now have as restaurants. And I think the important thing that we're all here for is to try and figure out how to slow down under 21 drinkers getting into bars. At this point, I don't know whether, Mr. Pires, is it appropriate for opening it up to, or have I already done it, the public hearing? Anyone wishing to speak in favor on any of these?
Mr. Chairman, since this is a public hearing, you may open it up to.
I would like to, at this time, open it up to anyone else that wishes to speak in favor, in favor, in favor. Anyone in a public hearing wishing to speak in opposition? Opposition, opposition. Your name and address, please.
Ernest Lugo, Tesco Bar, 72 Middlesex Street.
Okay.
My concern about the scanners is, again, we're 21 plus only. And a lot of my patrons, they have an ID on their phone. And I don't know if that is, most of the customers we know, and is that a valid ID form? And if it is, how are we going to scan an ID on a phone?
What is the ID that's on the phone?
Sometimes it's the license, sometimes it's the passport, sometimes it's the passport ID.
So they've scanned their passport?
No, we check it.
Yeah, but I mean, they've scanned it onto their phone?
Yes.
So, Mr. Chairman, I confess I haven't researched this issue extensively. My understanding from what little research I have done on ID scanners on phones is that it's not valid in Massachusetts yet to scan, say, a driver's license onto your phone. You know, some states are beginning to adopt real IDs where you can put your driver's license on your phone. Massachusetts is not yet one of them. So I don't believe having a scanned photograph of a license would necessarily be sufficient. But of course, if the commission would like me to look further into it, I'm happy to address it at the next meeting.
And I think we've got to keep up with the times, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? Any questions?
I've got a question. As far as these, I'll be honest with you, I kind of lean, in my opinion, leaning towards number 2, but number 3 is also good. But how does this affect the smaller bars, the private clubs that we have in Lowell? Would they have to wristband all their members, or we do have still have a handful of nonprofits where it's members only? Would they have to, like if we did the wristband, technically by the law, they're going to have to wristband all their members that come in and out?
So, Commissioner Mercier, I think the answer is it depends on the time in which the establishment is open and what type of alcohol license they have. So if they are an all alcoholic beverages license holder and they operate past 10 o'clock at night, then for the time period past 10 o'clock under this regulation, they would have to use wristbands for that specific time frame. Now, of course, the commission is free to modify this and include, say, a later hour of operation. So we included 10 p.m. as one option, but if the commission felt 11 o'clock or midnight would be more appropriate, the commission is, of course, free to move to amend that proposal.
Okay, and one other question that was brought up, which I'm curious of, if I go to one of the bars at 9 o'clock and I stay there till 11:30, at 10 o'clock is somebody going to have to come over and put a wristband on me where it's after? It was brought up earlier and it kind of got me thinking.
So under the text of this regulation, my interpretation would be no. If you have already been admitted before 9 o'clock, you would not, and you stay, say past 10 o'clock, 10:30, you would not then have to have an ID if the bartender already recognizes you, if they already see you. Now, if it's, say past 10 o'clock and the bartender doesn't recognize you, then they would likely say you would have to go back and get your wristband if they don't recognize you. So that would be my understanding.
Okay, and my last question, on option 3, that's for the bars that decide they want just an all alcohol, which is a voluntary thing. They don't have to get an all alcohol, they can keep their restaurant thing.
Correct. So any establishment that is, for example, an all alcohol beverages restaurant license holder, if they want to stay a license holder, as long as they follow the rules and regulations of the commission, they can stay a restaurant. If they want to just serve alcohol and not food, then they can apply to switch to this general on-premises all alcoholic beverages license, which would allow them to serve alcohol but not food.
And they'll know up front what the regulations are for just the all alcohol.
Correct. And that's really what, we're trying to propose here, is to provide a clear drawing line for any establishment that wants to just serve alcohol, so that they know what the rules and the regulations are ahead of time, and there's no, unfair surprise once they've switched to just becoming exclusively a bar.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah, I remain opposed to option 3. Option 1 or 2, I guess, we could implement it, and then I'd like to review it in a year to see if we notice any differences, if we have any complaints from the managers. As I say, I'm concerned about turning Lowell into a city of bars. I do have a question with regard to underage drinking. Does the police department participate with UMass Lowell for some sort of freshman indoctrination to make the point to the new students at UMass Lowell about not drinking until they're 21?
As far as I know right now, Mr. Commissioner, we don't participate in any kind of orientation with the new students at UMass Lowell. They have their own police department. I can't speak for them, but I would assume that they would address that if they felt that that was an issue in their police.
I have my one last question.
No, let's go right ahead.
Why don't we go back to 3.2 beer?
Thank you. Commissioner Underwood, any questions? Or Commissioner Tang? We're down the end. We don't want to leave you out.
I would agree with the proposal 1 and proposal 2. And I do not think that the bar should allow patron with an ID on the phone. I think we need a physical ID to be allowed there.
Okay. Any, one more? Okay. Go ahead.
So it goes back to, if we go with option 2, it goes back to my original question about nonprofits, members-only clubs, where only the members are getting in anyways. So would they have to get scanners?
So-
By this proposal, it sounds like they're going to have to go by scanners, although they're only letting in members. And I'm just curious on that.
So the question I would ask Commissioner Mercier, only because I'm not familiar with specific, clubs, would be, is the club an on-premises all alcoholic beverages license holder? And if the answer is yes, then under this proposed regulation, then yes, they would be required to provide wristbands or stamps. If the commission wanted to create a specific exemption for that type of an establishment, I do believe that it could. If it's the will of the body, I can certainly work to modify the language to include an exemption. But of course, that is a question for the commission.
Okay, thank you.
If I might, I'm having a problem with all 3 of the proposals, only because after looking at them, watching and thinking about what you see when you go into a restaurant, I not that often go downtown, but go into the restaurants, they got enough going on without us making new rules for people that have not caused a problem. And I look at it and say, why aren't we keeping it simple? If someone does violate it does violate some of the rules and regulations of the system, we have punishments which include our right to roll back hours for which they have no right of appeal. We have the right to set special conditions, which could include requiring them to get a scanner, have a scanner at the door, or to put wristbands on people as part of controlling someone that has made a mistake. And number 3, I was for the idea of a bar until it said 18. I wanted to see a bar where you can't go in until you're 21. And if that was how we could do it, I would say, let's go with number 3 and allow people to have a bar if they want one. But to say 18, I think defeats the purpose of what we started talking about, the proposals in the first place. How do we curtail under 21 drinkers? And I think, unfortunately, what we have now may be the best of a tough system where we have to have the police and the ABCC monitoring the bars and then imposing penalties if there are violations. But I'm worried that we're putting more conditions on bars, and then are they going to be in violation of no stamp or no wristband? So I'm right now not voting in favor of any of the 3 proposals, although I truly appreciate the work of the law department to give us ideas that we can try and work with that will prevent kids from getting into bars. But at this point, I would not make a motion to approve any of the 3, but that's my opinion. Anyone else? Please.
I'm in favor of option 3 because I do think we need to set an example for the kids that are using fake IDs and going into bars and causing problems and getting in trouble. And it should be the owner of the bar that takes responsibility in ensuring that they only have 21 plus people in their bar.
I'm just saying that you're allowing 18 to 21s into the bar. They can't. No. Well, I do too, but the proposal that's before us is 18.
So, Commissioner Underwood, my interpretation of what the License Commission has the legal authority to do is I do not believe the commission could create a general on-premises license that only permitted attendance to over 21. That is my assessment on what I think the commission has the legal authority to do. I do believe the commission can restrict anyone under 18 from being admitted. However, I do not believe we can restrict it to 21 and up. That's my conclusion, and that's my assessment after reviewing what the applicable precedents are.
That's why I'm not in favor of number 3. Okay.
3.2 beer.
3.2 beer. Anything else?
No.
Commissioner Mercia?
No, I've got my answers. I don't see how number 3 achieves what we want. I'm concerned with number 2, where the smaller, the private clubs and the smaller bars, and I don't want to specifically pick them out as saying that we shouldn't be doing it just because of them. But I don't think 3 achieves what we were looking for. And I'm not sure how number 1 will even work in some of these restaurants.
Right.
Where they're open till maybe 11 o'clock at night. So it was great work and everything, and thank you very much for it, but I think maybe we can look at it again in the future if we get a better idea. And if we could find something where we can ban under 21, I think that would fly right through.
Right through. Commissioner Krieger?
Just a little bit of clarification on number 2, I believe it is. The establishment doesn't have to scan everyone. If they know me personally and I show up and they look at me and they say, yeah, he's probably a little over 21, they can let me in without scanning, right?
Correct. So the proposal as constituted in Proposal 2 is that the bartender must scan any patron that appears to be under the age of 40. That's what is currently in the text. So if, for example, Commissioner Krieger, I don't mean to age you, I apologize, but if a bartender were to look and see, okay, this person appears to be over 40, they do not have to scan the ID at that point.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any motions to be made, or shall we just place this matter on file after having a public hearing and discussion of avenues to curb under 21 drinking, and we'll continue to look for other avenues for which we can go forward with bars. But I think the important thing to remember is we can, if we need to, require any bar, of course with their right to appeal, any bar to have a scanner or any other type of entry rule that we deem appropriate under the law.
So-
Thank you very much, Attorney Wood. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I didn't know if we needed a motion or a vote to table that. Place it on
Move we
file.
table.
Move to tables.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Mercia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Next is continuation of hearing regarding allegations of misconduct charged against Blue Shamrock Incorporated, 105 Market Street. Nicholas Petrakis, license manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee. Allegations of misconduct occurred September 5th, 2025, regarding failure to comply with all laws and regulations, including Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 34, and alcohol beverage regulations for licensees issued by the Lowell License Commission 1.06 and 1.16.
Counsel, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Identify yourself.
Sure. Members of the Commission. Attorney Brian Occasion from Murphy Occasion Law with an office at 1 Courthouse Lane in Chelmsford, Massachusetts.
Good evening.
Good evening. And I'm here with Mr. Petrakis, who is the president and manager of Blue Shamrock, Inc., DBA The Blue Shamrock.
Do you wish a reading of the allegations?
We'll waive the reading.
Waive the reading of the allegations. What we're going to do is I'm going to ask the captain to present the officers he has. Maybe you can step to the side and
Sure.
the officers will come up and, as the captain deems appropriate, present the allegations.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. I'd like to bring up first Officer Frederica Young. Officer Young was the officer on scene at the beginning of this incident when the mother of the 18-year-old who was having a medical issue, she had the responsibility of responding to that scene and had the firsthand knowledge of the condition of the victim at the time, and defer to City Solicitor Wood here to finish up with that.
Good evening. And your name for the record?
Good evening. My name is Officer Frederick Young of the Lowell Police Department.
Good evening. You want to tell us what you did on was it September 5th?
Yes, so when I initially responded, it was actually September 6th, I believe like 3:45 in the morning or so. When I initially came for a call for service, the mother of an 18-year-old UMass Lowell student called the police because her daughter called her saying that she thought someone put something in her drink. She didn't feel well. And then she texted her the location that she was staying at, and then she stopped responding. So we were able to locate the 18-year-old student. She was in the address that the mother sent us. When we spoke with the mother, she was very frantic and concerned for her daughter's well-being, obviously because of the message that her daughter had sent her and said to her, and she was then not able to contact her. When we did locate the daughter, she stated that on September 5th, around 11 p.m. or so, her and her friends went to the Blue Shamrock to go out drinking. Again, she was 18, and she stated that she was not properly identified at the door.
I'm sorry, the young lady herself told you this?
Yes, the young lady herself.
Thank you.
So she
And officer, I apologize for cutting you off, but when you say not properly identified, do you mean that she was not carded at the door?
Yes, she was not carded at the door.
And was she also not carded by the bartender?
Yes, she was not carded by the bartender either and was able to obtain an alcoholic beverage at the Shamrock. Once she drank the beverage, she stated that she felt way more under the influence than she should have been. After one drink, she stated that she didn't consume any other alcoholic beverages or any other drugs that evening. She did begin to experience muscle twitches, brain fog, nausea, and vomiting. And then so she let her friends know that she believed that someone had tampered with her drink, and so they were able to exit the premises. And then she went back to her friend's house, and then she let her mom know that she felt someone tampered with her drink, texted the address, and then she had fallen asleep, and that's why her mom was unable to reach her. We offered her medical aid. She stated that she was fine. She felt mostly normal, but she was still experiencing a headache from the incident.
Okay. All right. Now, is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Attorney Occasion, any questions for the officer?
The only question I have is, did you observe the young girl coming into the establishment?
No, we responded to her friend's house afterwards, but she stated that that's where her and her friends went.
Okay, but you didn't observe that?
I did not.
Okay.
Thank you. Captain?
Additionally, I have Detective Coleman here. Detective Coleman took a written statement from the victim a few days after the event. The victim expressed reservations about coming here in public to testify because she felt the backlash with her fellow students might make her life a little difficult as a UMass Lowell student. So, but she did commit to coming into the police station. She did commit to sitting down with Detective Coleman, and she gave a sworn written statement to Detective Coleman, and Detective Coleman can kind of talk a little bit about what she observed or what she was provided with by the victim, if that's okay.
Detective, for the record, your name?
Hi, it is Detective Samantha Coleman with the Lowell Police Department.
Okay. Detective Coleman, you want to tell us about your investigation?
Yes, so I contacted the 18-year-old and requested she come in and speak with me, and she did so willingly. I met with her at the Lowell Police Station, and she gave me her statement, and she signed the statement stating that those were her words and those were what she recalled as happening. It is pretty much the same as what you heard from Officer Young in regards to her going out that night with friends to the Blue Shamrock. She stated she was going to be the designated driver for her group of friends. They arrived at the bar and they were all let into the bar without having to show any ID. Once inside the bar, they went right to the bartender. They went right up to the bar and all ordered an alcoholic drink. She recalled her drink as being, she called it a dirty martini, which included vodka, grenadine, and Sprite. And she obtained that from a female bartender. She described all of the bartenders to be mostly female. She described them as being white or Caucasian. After having that drink, she said that's the only drink that she had. She didn't drink prior. She had one drink at the bar, and she began feeling, she described it as wonky and woozy. And once they left the bar, she was unable to drive. Her friends had to assist her with getting into the car, and one of their friends had to actually drive her back to the resident that the Officer Young described. And on the way, they even had to pull over so she could vomit. And then once she was at the house of her friend, she was unable to really stay awake. But before she fell asleep, she was able to notify her mom of what had happened and asked her to come and get her. And the next thing she remembers, she was being woken up saying that the police were looking for her. Yep, that's the statement that she gave when she visited with me at the station.
You spoke to her and you got proper identification from her that indicated she was 18 years of age?
Absolutely, and she made it known, like she knew it wasn't right, the fact that they were 18 and were going to a bar that's supposed to be serving 21 and older alcoholic beverages, but she apologized, recognizing that that's not something that's okay, but she did state that they were underage at the bar.
Thank you. Counselor? Okay, thank you. All right. Captain, anything?
Thank you. Finally, Detective Coughlin couldn't make it tonight, but Detective Coughlin did visit the Blue Shamrock a number of days after this incident, and the purpose was to obtain the roster of employees for that night as required under the management responsibilities of Liquor Commission Section 1-16. which requires the bars to maintain a written duty roster for not only the night in question, but you're supposed to keep that information and make it available to agents of the Liquor Commission. Detective Coughlin met with the bar manager, Karina Colley, and I think this is what she was provided. This isn't the spirit of what we were meant or what the commission meant when they said keep a roster of duty employees of that night. She then was contacted, I think a day or two later, by Mr. Petrakis, who then indicated to Detective Coughlin that he would be providing her with a formal roster, but that never happened. We waited a week or so, and we never heard back from Mr. Petrakis. So there was never a written roster of employees. The purpose of that, Mr. Commissioner, was so that we could possibly identify the bartender who served the drink to the 18-year-old. That's the value of this roster. But because of the way this was handed to us, and we weren't able to identify that bartender.
Anything else, counsel?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No. Mr. Occasion?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, without the alleged victim here, everything that's been stated by the Lowell Police Department and the attorney, it's all hearsay. There's no live testimony. We can't cross-examine the police officers about what she said because she's not here. So I would ask that the complaint relative to the service of the minor be dismissed as there's no direct evidence that she was served at the Blue Shamrock. It's all hearsay, and we would take that position. Additionally, I think there's the service of the 18-year-old, and then there's the getting sick from whatever she drank. And there's never been an allegation, as Mr. Petrakis has been in business for 37 years. If they were doing something funny with the drinks at their establishment, there would be no one going there. So I just want to put that aside. It's very unfortunate that she got sick.
I don't think we're considering that.
Sure.
That's
As a matter
correct.
of fact, I think was there one police report that mentioned that there was an older gentleman outside the bar that was hovering around the young ladies at some point. So
Right.
I would not consider that the tampering of a drink by anyone in the bar.
Right.
There was an employee.
So legally, I believe what's been said is all hearsay, and we'd ask that it be dismissed. But practically, right, when you have your name in the Lowell Sun saying Blue Shamrock is up on violations, and when we're here tonight, and there was issues before with restaurant versus bar, et cetera, obviously, Mr. Petrakis, it's not good for his business. So in speaking with Nick, there's been corrective actions that are being taken place at the Blue Shamrock. Currently, after 8 the Blue Shamrock is open on Monday night for karaoke. They typically get between 12 and 15 people. They're open from 6 to 11:30 p.m. They're closed Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they're open, and they have a doorman that typically comes on at 8 p.m. This doorman checks all the identification that comes in. They then stamp anyone that is over the age of 21 to get in. So when they go to the bar, the bartenders have to check the stamp to make sure that they're over the age of 21. Additionally, on those nights, there are between 2 and, because I asked Nick, I said, well, what happens if, someone passes their stamp to someone else? How do you determine, or the person with the stamp goes up to the bar and buys a drink and brings it back to someone else? Well, right now, he's employing between 2 and 6 security officers, depending on the night, that are in the establishment. That way, that does not happen. Because if you're going to have a mixed 18 and 21 there, I mean, it's only, I know, kids that I know and would go up and at 21 and buy something for someone that's 19, and that can't happen. So he's taking this very seriously. He has trained all his doormen as to the type of, what he's looking for identification-wise. They use flashlights and scanners to make sure that they're valid identification. And he doesn't want his business tarnished. He's done a lot of, even in the Lowell Sun, they had all the charitable endeavors that the Blue Shamrock has done over the years. He doesn't want this bad press.
That was a very nice piece.
What's that?
That was a very nice piece,
That was
I
a very
thought.
nice piece, yeah. So he doesn't want this bad press, and he wants to prevent underage drinking. I mean, he knows he's going to lose his license, his livelihood. He's done this his whole career. If this continues, he's going to lose his license. He's going to lose financially, and that's not what he wants to have happen. So we have gone over all the rules. As you know, I was chairman of the License Commission. I sat up there for 8 years doing what you're doing. I went over all the regulations with Mr. Petrakis. He's aware of the seriousness of what is going on. He knows he's going to be under a magnifying glass going forward, and he's going to do everything he can to prevent underage consumption of alcohol. And it's unfortunate that it's alleged on this day that that's what happened. But relative to that, he's taking every corrective measure he can take right now.
Okay. Counsel, this, as you know, is not a criminal matter.
Exactly.
It's not beyond a reasonable doubt, and rules of procedure aren't required in a hearing like this. Yep. It's quasi-civil in nature, or civil, and the rules are much...
Yeah, the rules of evidence don't apply.
Yeah. And I would ask, Attorney Wood, do you wish to say anything? I know
Yes.
you...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're not cutting me off.
Okay.
I appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. A couple things I just wanted to emphasize. The first is, as you pointed out, Attorney Occasion speaks about hearsay and the right to confront one's accuser. Of course, that is a right recognized in criminal cases. This is not a criminal case. This is an administrative hearing. Attorney Occasion spoke about hearsay statements from the victim. 2 points on that. The first is hearsay. The bar on hearsay does not apply in administrative hearings. There are cases from the Massachusetts Appeals Court, the SJC, the United States Supreme Court, all of which say that an administrative board may consider hearsay statements. I don't want to get overly technical about the rules of evidence, but I would also note that many of the statements made by this victim to these officers would in fact be admissible under the hearsay exception. Her descriptions about her physical conditions, about the symptoms she exhibited after drinking alcohol, would be what's called a then existing mental, physical, or emotional condition. Attorney Tang, I see, is nodding along as that is an exception to the hearsay rule. So even if the commission were to consider not considering the hearsay statements, many of the statements by the victim would actually be admissible in a court of law. The final thing I'll just note is, counsel mentions that he spoke to Mr. Petrakis about these violations and viewed the rules and regulations before him. This is a licensee that has, by my count, at least 4 violations pending before this commission. The Lowell Police Department, given the circumstances of this case, a 18-year-old girl who has potentially been roofied at an establishment, takes this very, very seriously. I have had a number of conversations with Captain Peasley about this, and this is a concern to the police department. So I appreciate you allowing me to go on a soapbox, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Would you like me to address the roster of the employee, or are we just dealing with the underage right now?
Well, it's all 3 of them, I suppose, together.
Sure. So relative to the list of posted employees, Mr. Petrakis did in fact have a posted list of the employees. It was in his office. That doesn't meet the spirit of the regulation. I went over that with him. When Detective Coughlin came into the establishment, she asked for a list of employees on that date. She was given to it on the back of that check. Then Detective Coughlin then contacted Mr. Petrakis, who spoke with her and said, I'll get you anything I need. And according to Mr. Petrakis, Detective Coughlin said, no, Nick, you're all set for right now. So As a corrective action, now there is a location right to the right of the bar that has the list of everyone who is on duty for the week. That is posted, that is easily accessible for the police. If you took your badge as the license commissioner and walked in and wanted to check it, you would see that as well. So there's a corrective action that's been taken relative to the list of the employees.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would just ask counsel if the department were to ask right now if Mr. Petrakis has a log from this particular shift where this particular underage patron attended, would he be able to provide that to the police department?
100%. Yes, it's employee records. Yeah.
Okay, because, Mr. Chairman, obviously, as Captain Peasley's indicated, the concern here is they were attempting to locate the specific bartender who served alcohol to this patron.
Right.
And as of now, they have been unable to do so. And that is a frustration that Captain Peasley and the department has expressed to me and to this department.
We'll be more than happy to supply the payroll records for that evening.
The other thing I have is, one the concern that I had was, there's no indication on those parties who has what duties there. And I was looking I thought about, is there someone there who was a chef, or, a cook at the restaurant?
There's no one indicated on that list.
No one indicated on that list.
Right,
no.
they have the bartender, the security, et cetera, but there's no one listed. And I asked Nick that, and he said, well, my brother was there, but he's not listed on the list. So we're going to produce the payroll records for that night.
I have a question. So I'm wondering, nobody ever checked the video camera, like the footage?
You have videos?
Camera? No, there's no videos there.
Stand up and speak in the microphone.
I don't know if videos there, but that's my brother. He's my partner, and he's with me from when I walk in to when we leave. So he closes. We open up together. He was there that night, and I just want to add too that my bartenders, after the detective came in, called me right away because they said that detective came in. I was at my daughter's soccer practice. I got back to the detective. I don't know where 2 days came up. I got back to her within 5 minutes, and I said to her, I heard you were in there, what's it about? She said, I just looking for this information. I said, I can drop it off at the station. I can call my bartender. You can go back. She can go into the cellar and get it. She goes, if I need it, I'll ask you. Within 5 minutes, not 2 days.
That's right.
Oh, he said I never got it.
Nick.
Commissioner Krieger?
Can this establishment sustain itself without underage college students coming in?
Well, I don't know the ins and outs of his business. My guess would be that they probably could, but I think Mr. Petrakis could have. Yeah, stand up. Mr. Petrakis.
Food-wise?
No, Mr. Petrakis. Could you sustain your business if you didn't allow patrons between the ages of 18 and 21?
Yeah, so not to eat either, nothing.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
I have a question for the detective.
Detective, would you mind?
Yeah. In your discussion with Ms. X, did the question come up about, did they think that this was normal to go to the bar at her age and order a drink? Do her friends think that this is normal? Did that come up in any way in the discussion?
Give me just a second. She didn't put that in her written statement, just the fact that they wanted to go to the Blue Shamrock.
Thank you.
Mr. Commissioner, I think Officer Young can testify, and that upon speaking with the victim that night, she stated to Officer Young that her intentions were to leave the dorm and go to the Blue Shamrock to go drinking, and if she can testify to that, if you'd like to hear that.
Okay.
Yes, so when I spoke to the 18-year-old female, she stated that on September 5th at 11 p.m., her and her friends had a plan to go to the Blue Shamrock to drink alcoholic beverages.
And your impression is her friends were all under 21?
That is my impression, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Sure.
If I can, to the solicitor, is it within the board's rights or whatever to restrict the Blue Shamrock to 21 and over? Or is that it's just that Commissioner Krieger brought up a good point.
That is an excellent question. I would advise against restricting it exclusively to 21 and older. I am concerned, because that would be something that could be appealed to the ABCC. I'm concerned that may be considered overly broad. However, I do think that this commission can impose several restrictions upon the Blue Shamrock, which would be permissible as a modification. The first is it could modify the hours of operation for a period of time that the commission feels is appropriate. That would be unreviewable by the ABCC. It could not be appealed. It would be a final determination by the commission. The second thing it could do is it could impose restrictions on who can be admitted, such as through an ID scanner. It could impose restrictions on who can be served alcohol, such as through a wristband requirement or a stamping requirement. As the commission knows, the regulations that I proposed earlier in today's meeting includes a specific description of what that regulation would look like. We could plug that into Mr. Petrakis' license promptly if the commission were to vote for it and if it's the will of the body.
Okay, my concern is that, Councilor Occasion, you're right, she's not here to testify or whatever, but it seems like somebody that went through a lot of work. She came into the police station. I know her, I think her mother made her call the police, and then she actually came in and did it. And I get it, she's 18 years old, she doesn't want to publicly come out. But it seems like there's got to be some truth to it, because if she was looking for attention, if you would, well, she'd be here looking for more attention. So I think she's embarrassed by what happened and stuff. But I don't think we can just discount that it definitely didn't happen. And I don't think Blue Shamrock can sit here and say, oh, no, that absolutely didn't happen, because they're not there all the time. It's the same people. So that was all my question was. That was my concern.
Commissioner Mercier, if I could add to that, because I think that's an insightful point. I think, what should be emphasized here is that, this is not a criminal case, and so the standard of proof is less. We're not required to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that this patron was served alcohol. The standard is lesser than that. So the commission does not have to find to that level of certainty to find that a violation of the furnishing statute occurred. Thank you.
One more question, and this one probably out of the realm. Would the Blue Shamrock agree not to let anybody under 21 in?
Well,
Can they do that voluntarily?
if I might, before we discuss dispositions, I think first have to make a determination, did they in fact violate any of the rules or regulations, any of the three allegations that are here? So I would just ask that we hold off on talking about that until after we make any determinations. Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah, I want to go laterally the other direction. This took place on the 3rd of September, and I know we had a continuation, so that burns 14 days, but it's, the 13th of November? So over 2 months. Have we taken too long to address this issue? Just a question.
Counsel, anything you wish to finish up with?
Relative to, not to the disposition, just to whether a violation occurred? No, there's nothing further to add.
Okay.
We have a response.
Just to address Commissioner Krieger's concern about the time frame, the Lowell Police Department acted immediately upon hearing this issue, these allegations. I brought it to Mr. Paez's attention, I believe, the second or third week of September, and my complaint is actually dated October 1st of 2025. Now, to account for the week or two difference between October 1st and the date of the incident, that would account for some of our investigation, bringing the young woman in, getting the statement, typing the statement up. So it's not, or it's not our fault or anybody's fault, really, that we're here on November 13th, to discuss this. There was a couple weeks there where the hearing was postponed. I have to bring it to your attention and schedule the hearing. So that's a 4 to 6 week process right there. So we didn't delay this, Mr. Krieger, at all, and I don't think that excusing the improper behavior just because 6 weeks went by to address it tonight is appropriate, to be honest with you, but that's your decision. I think the allegations are very serious. I think we were very lucky that something unfortunate didn't happen to this 18-year-old girl. And I'll bring our attention back onto April 17th of this year, when Mr. Petrakis stood in front of this board and stated to this board, and this is a quote that was in the Lowell Sun and a quote that anybody can pull up on YouTube. He stated to us, "No one will ever get a drink, an underage person, at the Blue Shamrock." Well, now we know that's not true. This is exactly what we thought was going to happen back in April 17th when he stood here and told us that nobody was ever going to get a drink there. We anticipated this. We tried to take preventive measures. But because of the quirk and the all general licensing, am I saying that right? Because of that quirk that allows 18-year-olds to go into the bars, this unfortunate incident happened. So to address your point, there was no delay in this. The delay might have been with some of the investigation, but that's part of properly doing our due diligence here.
Yeah, I'm not trying to whitewash the incident. I'm just concerned about being fair to Mr. Petrakis by dealing with this as promptly as we can, which I thought was sort of part of the law we live under.
I think we showed that we did deal with this properly. We acted upon this right away at the police department. And to make sure that these allegations were investigated properly, that does take a little bit of time in terms of scheduling. And then also, again, we were delayed, right? The last time they asked for an extension, that's part of the delay. That's probably why we're here on November 13th. But my complaint to the board was dated October 1st. And I don't think that's an unreasonable time to allow the police department to investigate a very serious allegation like this.
And Captain Peasley, if I may add to that, there was also the issue of you were waiting on Mr. Petrakis to provide a list of employees who were scheduled to be working that night, and your department was waiting on Mr. Petrakis to provide that list, which was not provided.
That's correct.
Anything from the board? Any more? Anybody wish to say anything and make a motion in regard to the findings? Council, anything final? I'll give you that. No, thank you. All right. Nobody?
Yeah, so at this point, I don't see there any direct evidence. I just have a real concern, because I'm new in this board, but I had attended, participate in several other violation hearing, involving the ID scanning, the failure to prevent the underage into Shamrock in the past, and we never really punish anything, except not suspension, like, we put in a bail, right, something like that in the past. But today, I don't see any violation, but I hope that the owner will train the doorman, forcefully enforce the rule and regulation, so that we don't see this again.
Anybody else? Based on nobody else speaking at this point, as to the three allegations, I'm going to make a motion that we find that there is sufficiency of evidence to find that there are violations. There's a violation that minor was served, that under Mass General Law 138, Section 34, and there was failure to comply with Lowell License Commission regulations, compliance 106. License shall remain the premise in full compliance with all state, local, and federal laws, which is a general allegation. And finally, the manager's responsibility. There was no list provided, and there should be, and there was no maintaining that list with employees' positions and roles. I would make that a motion that, to find the Blue Shamrock in violation of all three allegations.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Underwood. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Those opposed? Thank you. All right. I would think now it's time to, for disposition of the case. Counsel, you've already said quite a bit about what's going to be going on there, but
Right.
as to
The only thing that I would, you found a violation, so, and Mr. Petrakis is taking corrective actions. The only thing that I would ask is, in May of this year, the Village Smokehouse was found in violation of two serving minors twice, and there was a monetary fine of $200 per fine, per violation. And I think Mr. Petrakis would be, if what's good for the goose is good for the gander, if that was the disciplinary action, Mr. Petrakis would be willing to accept that.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may, the Lowell Police Department would oppose that request for several reasons. The first is there are multiple aggravating factors which I think would justify a more harsh offense here. Although, as discussed earlier, the fact that an underage patron was potentially drugged is not relevant to whether a violation occurred, it is relevant to whether this is an egregious enough event that there needs to be a more serious consequence than merely a monetary fine. I think adding on top of that, the failure to provide a list which hindered the Lowell Police Department's ability to uncover which bartender furnished alcohol to an underage patron, which is a criminal offense, which the police department could have prosecuted but have not been able to in the weeks since this violation occurred. I think both of those factors justify a harsher sentence than the mere $200 fine. I'll also note that, as this commission is aware, the Village Smokehouse, although had that event, in general has complied with the provision that requires that underage patrons not be served alcohol. I am not aware of any other violations of that particular regulation by the Village Smokehouse in the years preceding this event. And so I think it's comparing apples to oranges, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate you letting me speak on this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I do agree with Attorney Occasion that I know the drug was put in allegedly, but I see no attachment of that to any personnel in the bar. And I know Mr. Petrakis has, we know that there have been other circumstances where agencies have talked to you about how you've got to do better over the past year. But I think it is fair that we say, monetary, if it's good for one, I think, my opinion, it should be good for another. And I was considering that, although I wasn't considering 200, I was considering, because it is a little more severe, going up to 300. But I would make a motion.
Mr. Chairman, may I just briefly address something before
Go ahead.
I speak on that? The only other thing I would add is that, as I recall, the Village Smokehouse event was one in which the Lowell Police Department found minors in the establishment, but had not found evidence that minors had actually been served alcohol. So I think that.
I'm not sure of that, but anyway.
I can confirm that we didn't have furnishing issues with the smokehouse. We couldn't prove that the smokehouse actually furnished the alcohol to the minors, that they were in possession, but they didn't furnish. This, we have direct proof, based on the victim's statement, that she went to a bartender, was not carded, and was served an alcoholic drink. That is different than what happened at the smokehouse.
All right.
I got a quick question.
Go ahead.
To go back to my original thing, we were doling out some kind of punishment with the Blue Shamrock, or can we even ask if they would just stop allowing people under the age of 21? Is that something that your client, Council Occasion, would consider
That is something
as
that he
part
would,
of the,
that is something that he would consider.
where the fine is being looked at is too low? If there was the fine with also the condition by the Blue Shamrock, the agreement that they wouldn't allow people under the age of 21 into the Blue Shamrock. Is that something that we can put in? I'm not sure that's legal over there. That's so I'm looking for an opinion on whether.
Would you mind repeating that provision that one more time? I apologize, Commissioner Mercier.
I'm sorry.
Would you mind just repeating that one more
Yeah.
time, Commissioner?
So basically, if we did, let's say we did the $300 fine for the 3 offenses, if we also added in with the agreement of the Blue Shamrock that they wouldn't allow people under the age of 21 into the bar, is that out of?
If it were on a voluntary basis, I think that would be permissible. I don't think the commission could unilaterally force the licensee to.
Right, it would be a voluntary thing that obviously they would agree with, and I'm just looking at that. But also, if it is a voluntary thing and part of the disposition of this case, that if the police go in there and find a couple of 18-year-olds or 19-year-olds, that would be another violation. So if that's good, I guess I would say with Councilor Occasion, if his client would be willing to do that. And obviously, it's up to the whole board. It's just something I'm thinking of to put a little more teeth in the.
Is there a range that we go by for the fine? Like a dollar-wise?
I'm sorry?
Is there a range that we use?
I'm
on
not
the
even
fines?
sure how we got to that 200 the last time. Beyond.
Commissioner Underwood, there's not a range. What the ABCC will typically look at is whether it is reasonable or excessive. I think, the difference between, say, a $100,000 fine and a $100 fine. It's based on what a reasonable person would consider appropriate.
Thank you.
Commissioner Krieger?
Asking the Blue Shamrock to not admit anyone under 21, it is sort of de facto turning them into a bar, as opposed to our philosophy of restaurants serving alcohol. So on that basis, I'd be a little leery of that. On the other hand, we do have to decide on a punishment. I would be quite happy to propose we suspend the license for 1 day on a Friday, or alternatively, I could go for $400.
That's in the form of a motion?
Well, no, it's a sort of a speculation, but
Okay.
if you're looking for a motion, I can give you one. I move that we suspend the license for 1 day on a Friday.
That's it? We have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Chair, I would just like to say, I did look at the regulations, the minutes of the meeting from May, where it does say, it's almost the exact pattern, that minors were in possession of alcohol. And that's the minutes from the license commission of that meeting where the fine was initiated.
Okay.
So we would ask that a fine be, to be consistent and not arbitrary and capricious.
All due respect, I think there's a difference between furnishing and in possession. Furnishing implies that, or is that the bar itself served the minor the drink, handed the minor the drink. That's the furnishing. A minor in possession is simply, or could simply have been that the drink was furnished to somebody who was over 21, but that 21-year-old then gave it to an 18-year-old. And that is the distinct difference between the furnishing and the minor in possession. The smokehouse was not brought up on furnishing. The smokehouse was It was just a minor that was in the building in possession of alcohol, and I think that's a very distinct difference.
That motion that you've made and has been seconded, is that one day on one complaint? Because there were 3 allegations, and we want to make sure we get it. The sale, delivery of furnishing alcoholic beverage to a person under 21. You have found them in violation, and you're proposing a violation for one day, a Friday.
For all 3.
Concurrent?
Yeah.
One day, and one day only.
One day only.
But each of them are found responsible, are found in violation on the 3 allegations, and it'd be one day, one day, one day?
No.
To run concurrent?
Oh, okay.
Or is it one day on count 1 and count 2 found in violation and placed on file, and manager responsibility found responsible and placed on file? Or no, yeah, is that all right? No, placed on file after finding, on 2 and 3. Is that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that what you would, okay. We have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Commission Chair Donahue.
Yes.
Commissioner Krieger.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercier.
Yes.
Commissioner Tang.
Yes.
Commissioner Underwood.
Yes.
5 in favor, none opposed. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the next, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay. Okay.
Next is the hearing regarding allegations of, Hearing regarding allegations of misconduct charged against Blue Shamrock Incorporated, 105 Market Street, Nicholas Petrakis, licensed manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee. Allegations of misconduct occurred September 27th, 2025, regarding failure to comply with all laws and regulations, including Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 272, Section 98, and alcohol beverages regulations for licenses issued by the Lowell License Commission, Sections 2.12 and 2.16, Part 3.
Okay. Captain, I'm sorry, Counsel, will you waive a formal
Waive the
reading
reading, yes.
of the complaint? And Captain, want to give us a brief outline of the allegations that you brought by the Lowell Police Department?
Sure. During the week of September 26, Lowell Police Department's crime analysis and our intelligence unit was made aware of scheduled event at the Blue Shamrock that was to occur on September 27th. The event was to feature a social media personality with an online following of over 1.7 million individuals. He was there. He was going to be on site to engage with members of the public. I think I've included a picture of the Instagram post. The Lowell Police Department did not receive any prior notification from this event from any representatives of the Blue Shamrock. We only became aware of this because of our crime analyst, who subsequently relayed the members to the command staff. The Lowell Police Department maintains that the owner of the Blue Shamrock should have reasonably anticipated a larger than normal crowd due to the significant popularity of the social media personality in question. In accordance with the reference regulation above, the owner had an obligation to notify the department in advance. No advance notice was received by either us or the License Commission, I believe. This was the second violation during the month of September of the Blue Shamrock for this same charge. Also, at the same event, the Blue Shamrock was advertising a $5 cover charge beginning at 10 o'clock, while noting that ladies would receive free admission until midnight. This gender-based pricing structure, charging men $5 after 10 o'clock while allowing women to enter free until midnight, constitutes a clear violation of Section 12.16, subsection 3 of the Lowell Lowell License Commission Rules and Regulations. For these reasons, the chief is respectfully requesting the License Commission take action.
All right, Counsel?
So one, relative to promoting events, if you look at the Instagram post, this is from Downtown Lowell Life. It's not from anything relative to the Blue Shamrock. Number two, The occupancy permit for the Blue Shamrock is 219 individuals for downstairs, and it's 189 for upstairs. On that night, there were 70 people that attended this event. So it was not a larger than normal crowd. But again, I talked to Mr. Petrakis. He's obviously under a microscope. And going forward, any event that he has, he should be letting the Lowell Police Department know that, oh, I'm having an event tonight. Just want to give you the heads up in good faith and in compliance with the rules and regulations of the License Commission. Once again, this wasn't promoted by Mr. Petrakis. It was whoever downtown Lowell Life is. And number two, it's not even 25% of his capacity were the amount of people that were there that night. And as you can also notice, it was a 21 plus. He wasn't letting anyone in under the age of 21. So we did ask that it just be put on file.
Could I, perhaps there's some questions, but I have one. Who is downtown Lowell Life? Why would they be promoting some event or some person that's going to go into Shamrock?
I have no idea. I asked Mr. Petrakis the same question. He doesn't know.
Well, you talk to your attorney and. What was the purpose of Shooter? I mean, who was he to you that you brought him in?
It didn't. I have a capacity of 219, which I'm limited by that anyways. But I had 70 people, maybe only 50 at one time, 70 through the doors total, but 50 at one time. So why would I notify the police about a huge event when I knew I wasn't having one? That's what I don't understand.
So you have a DJ?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Commissioner, first of all, let it get on the record that the police department does not work with the man referred to as being Shooter. And second of all, because it's not the police department's fault that the event was not well attended. The point of it was still advertised by two Instagram followers, with one with over 1.7 million followers and another with over 800,000 followers. The fact that the crowd didn't show up isn't the point. The point is that the police department should have been made aware that the potential existed for larger crowds than normal, so we can prepare. It's not fair to the rest of the city of Lowell if we have to pull cruisers off the road to come downtown, leaving other sections of the city uncovered. So that's the whole purpose of this rule and regulation, is that the city of Lowell can prepare for an event that could possibly bring in larger than normal crowds. And I would argue that two Instagram followers with a combined total of 2 million followers, if you combine Bean Shooter and the other person, the other DJ with their followers, that's over 2 million people. I would think that that would have the potential to bring in larger than normal crowds. The fact that the crowds didn't materialize is irrelevant.
Commissioner Krieger and then Commissioner Mercier.
In the back of my mind, we passed a rule, we amended our rules about if you're going to have a promoter, you have to come to the commission and get an okay on that. Am I wrong about that?
You're not, Commissioner Krieger. This was part of the newer regulations that were adopted by this commission about a year ago. And you know, as the commission knows, part of the reason for that is because the Lowell Police Department does not have unlimited resources. And so being able to know in advance about an event which may have a larger than expected crowd will allow them to anticipate it. This commission, you know, about 2 years ago when I started here with the law department, was confronted with an episode with a bar where there was severe overcrowding, which resulted in a significant fight, and officers were injured. And the police department was not prepared for that event and had to dispatch officers from multiple departments across the area. And that, events like that is exactly what this regulation is for. It allows them to anticipate, it allows them to plan, it allows them to route officers there so that they are prepared for a situation. And that's why the failure to notify, I think, is problematic, and why I think there needs to be a finding that a violation occurred here.
So we have someone who acted as a promoter who forgot to contact us and get clearance. Is that right?
Yes, so the police
Should they
department...
not be the ones that are before us?
No, I think that the bar also has the responsibility, and I think Solicitor Woods can answer a little bit more clearly on this, but I think whether you're being promoting on your behalf or whether you're doing the actual promoting, your responsibility still exists with the holder of the liquor license. They're the ones that are bound by these rules and regulations. So if somebody is promoting an event at your establishment on your behalf, as the owner of the liquor license, you still have the responsibility to notify us and you of the potential of a larger than normal crowd.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add to that, the regulation states that licensees must provide notice 14 days in advance when they are using anyone to promote and/or self-promoting an event. So it's not limited strictly to whether the Blue Shamrock is promoting the event. If they are using anyone, whether they are an employee or not, to promote an event, they're required to provide this commission with notice.
Counsel?
No, other than I just told Mr. Petrakis, he's going to be self-promoting every night. He wants that business, so he needs to let the License Commission and the City of Lowell Police Department know that every time he's got to be proactive about what's going on at his establishment. But it'd be one thing if it was the Blue Shamrock promoting this. It's not. We don't even know who Downtown Life is. But I went over the regulation with him, and he knows going forward. Anytime there's any out of the ordinary event at his establishment, he's got to let the License Commission and the Lowell Police know.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want to gloss over the cover charge issue, which is a separate offense. I wasn't sure if you wanted to address them collectively or wanted to take one at a time.
Well, I did hear from the captain about the charge, but if you want to say anything, and then counsel if he wants to say anything about the cover charge.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman.
I assume counsel's going to say that he's already talked to his client about it.
Right. The only thing...
my game.
The only thing I would add to what was already previously discussed by Captain Peasley is the cover charge prohibition against differentiating between gender is not a Lowell-specific regulation. This is required by state law. Every establishment in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is prohibited from creating a cover charge that discriminates based on gender. And from my research, I'm aware of at least 5 cases in which the ABCC has specifically found that a cover charge that differentiates based on gender is a violation of the statute. The statute is General Laws, Chapter 272, Section 98, which is Massachusetts public accommodation law. A violation of it is a serious offense. Any licensee or any place of public accommodation that violates that statute can be subject to fines, civil asset forfeiture in an amount not less than $300, and any person who is aggrieved by the statute has standing to sue under that statute and seek, among other things, attorney's fees and punitive damages. So this is a not merely, I don't want to create the impression that this is a Lowell-specific regulation that was violated. This is state law, and it's state law that is not being complied with here. And also it's not new. The statute has been around for quite a while now.
Does anybody else wish to speak?
I want to
Go ahead.
question. So, Counsel, I know, Mr. Pius, I believe you sent a letter explaining the rules and regulations to the Blue Shamrock, and you got that letter, Counselor?
Yes.
And you've explained all this to your client?
I've explained. I sat down with him yesterday and read him the riot act. He didn't like me after I was telling him what he's doing wrong, but I went through everything with him.
Well, I won't comment on liking you, but no. I'm just looking at it as we've gone over a lot of stuff tonight, and where the Blue Shamrock is willing, and that's the whole thing, that they're going to be honest about anything coming up, notify the police and stuff like that. I don't know if I would think that Put it on file with a warning,
With no finding.
with no finding, yeah.
A motion has been made that these matters be placed on file with no finding of violation after discussion with council and the owner of the establishment. Is there a second for that?
Sure.
Second by Commissioner Krieger. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to ask for a roll call again, if you don't mind, Mr. Pyatt, just for the record.
Commissioner Chair? Sorry. Commission Chair Donahue?
Yes.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercier?
Yes.
Commissioner Tang?
Yes.
Commissioner Underwood?
Yes.
5 in favor, none opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Could the attorney approach?
Would you like me to approach?
Next is a request for a hearing regarding an application by Sea Dog Lowell LLC doing business as Sea Dog Brewing Company. Ellie Ruiz, proposed license manager for a new all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license at 203 Cabot Street. It is requested that legal notice be published in the local newspaper and public hearing to be held December 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Moved by Commissioner Underwood, second by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor?
Aye.
Request for a hearing regarding an application by Saigon Sandwich House LLC doing business as Saigon Sandwich House. Tuan Nguyen, proposed license manager for a new all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license at 507 Dutton Street. It is requested that legal notice be published in the local newspaper and public hearing be held on December 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Commissioner Krieger, second by Commissioner Tang. All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Secretary, I just wanted to clarify if we could go back to agenda item 8, which is the one-day suspension. I don't think we discussed when the one-day suspension would take place. Oh. Oh, yes, of course.
Request for a hearing regarding an application by Lowell Asian Restaurant LLC, Sally Lee Ho, proposed license manager for a new all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license at 369 Broadway Street. It is requested that legal notice be published in the local newspaper and public hearing be held December 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Moved by Commissioner Krieger, second by Commissioner Underwood. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Request for a hearing regarding an application by O'Share LLC doing business as O'Share Sushi and Bar. Nee Gibson, proposed license manager for transfer of an all-alcoholic beverages restaurant license at 350 Market Street. It is requested that legal notice be published in the local newspaper and public hearing be held on December 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No,
Back to 8.
Oh, it's okay. I think we should finish it. So that,
how much time do you need to notify?
2 weeks is fine. Okay. 2 weeks is fine.
2 weeks?
It's got to go out in the mail, certified mail, blah, 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 so it's got to be a little bit of time.
It's just been brought to my attention that there will be a public function on the 5th there, fundraiser for someone, so I'd ask that we not have it on the 5th, this Friday suspension.
What date would you like?
December 12th?
Would it be the would the 28th be possible, Mr. Secretary?
The 28th of November?
Black Friday?
That would be 2 weeks, yeah.
It's Black Friday.
28 November.
Okay.
I move 28 November.
Second by Commissioner
Yep.
Garcia. All
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Move to adjourn by Commissioner Krieger, second by Commissioner Donahue.
Aye.
Aye.
It is freezing.
Thank you, Andrew.